In the heart of the action, Ryuta Setu finds himself in a peculiar situation with the exhausted girl in red, now known as Celeste. Despite her magical depletion, Celeste insists on continuing her endeavors in the trash-filled dungeon. Ryuta Setu, drawing from his past life as a salaryman, decides to lend a helping hand by firing 2 healing bullets at her. Little did Celeste know those bullets had a hidden surprise, a combination that turned them into sleeping bullets. Surprisingly, Celeste wakes up in the evening to a scene of monsters descending from the trash, only to be swiftly taken down by Ryuta Setu and his trusty revolver. The girl in red witnesses this display of skill and teamwork, leaving her amazed. As she observes Ryuta Setu and Emily handling the trash in her place, gratitude wells up and she sheds tears of appreciation. Amidst the camaraderie, Emily realizes they don't even know the girl's name. Introductions follow and Celeste becomes a part of the team. She reveals an interesting tidbit about dungeon drops being tax-exempt until ownership is determined, leading to an influx of adventurers and an increase in trash production. Ryuta Setu and Emily extend their helping hand, promising assistance whenever Celeste needs it. Touched by their kindness, Celeste falls asleep again. The following day, revitalized and at her full potential, Celeste's magical abilities shine brighter. Grateful for the rest she received, she thanks Ryuta Setu and Emily, whose goodwill has boosted her magic even beyond its usual capacity. Amidst the ongoing events, Celeste hesitates to burden them further, but eventually agrees to stay with Ryuta Setu and Emily in their tent for a while. Meanwhile, Ryuta Setu heads to the Sekiro HQ, escorted by Emily. There he meets Duke, who shares information about Selen, the new dungeon, causing a stir among factions. The competition revolves around obtaining rare drops, and Duke has a plan in motion, enlisting Ryuta Setu's help in exchange for handsome rewards. The storyline takes an exciting turn as Ryuta Setu faces a rare monster on level 1, showcasing his skills and earning a significant reward. Back at the tent, Celeste sleeps peacefully, unaware of the events unfolding in the dungeon. Ryuta Setu recounts the dungeon adventure to Emily and expresses his gratitude by gifting her a valuable ring. As the duo ventures into the dungeon once more, facing Trents and rare monsters, Emily's desire for a non-vegetarian drop is fulfilled with the acquisition of a chicken breast. A strategic move during a confrontation with a rare monster further enhances Ryuta Setu's reputation, earning him both money and valuable drops. The narrative builds tension as Hetero calls for backup adventurers and Ryuta Setu aims to complete the quest before day's end. Negotiating with Duke for higher rewards, he embarks on a journey through the dungeon, defeating monsters on various floors and securing rare drops. However, a confrontation with Eugene and other adventurers from Hetero adds a twist to the tale. In the aftermath of the intense dungeon activities, Emily decides to treat Ryuta Setu and Celeste with a feast. With Ryuta Setu's workload easing up, Emily goes all out, showcasing her culinary skills. The atmosphere is lightened as they enjoy a delightful meal, including a specially baked cake and homemade ice cream. The next day, Ryuta Setu wakes up to the sight of Celeste diligently tending to the trash. However, an unexpected event occurs as Celeste suddenly collapses. Swiftly, Ryuta Setu catches her and uses a healing bullet. Celeste, feeling shy, pushes him away and resorts to slapping herself to regain composure. Curious about her use of a powerful magic spell for such a small task, Ryuta Setu offers to help whenever he's free. As the days progress, the workload increases and Ryuta Setu finds himself exhausted when another pile of trash arrives. Today, however, holds significance due to the appearance of the Dungeon Master, a formidable boss that emerges periodically. Everyone is on edge, stress eating in anticipation. Ryuta Setu encourages Celeste to rest, taking on the task of handling the trash pile himself. The situation intensifies as the joint force to defeat the Dungeon Master faces obstacles. The agreement between the parties is disrupted as Hetero Association fails to assemble a team. Ryuta Setu, being at level 1, is prohibited from entering the dungeon, heightening the challenge. Returning to his tent, Ryuta Setu finds Emily prepared for the Dungeon Master confrontation. Celeste joins the endeavor and Eugene takes over the trash-burning duty. Despite being at an intelligence rank of A, Celeste is physically drained. As they venture into the dungeon, a formidable adversary, the Bicorn, emerges. The battle unfolds with teamwork as Ryuta Setu, Emily, and others attempt to breach the Bicorn's protective barrier. A struggle ensues, with Bicorn retaliating by dropping Ryuta Setu's stats. Celeste, nearly out of MP, musters the strength to help break the barrier, allowing Ryuta Setu to deliver the final blow with Emily's hammer. The victory is shared, and Ryuta Setu graciously gives Celeste Bicorn's drop, enabling her to use level 1 magic without limitations. Touched by their kindness, Celeste decides to join Ryuta Setu's party. In the aftermath, Ryuta Setu informs Duke of the Dungeon Master's defeat, surprising him. Neptune deals with Harvard's bullying, and the next day it's determined that Selen now belongs to Sekiro. Ryuta Setu extends an invitation to Celeste to join his party, and she gladly accepts, solidifying the bonds. Upon returning to Sekiro with his team, Ryuta Setu unexpectedly encounters Urza on the way. Urza is taken aback to see a stunning lady accompanying Ryuta Setu, prompting him to introduce her as a new member of the team. The Ryuta Setu family is born. Urza, however, has a favor to ask regarding the upcoming Harvest Festival, inviting Ryuta Satu to visit her shop when he has some free time. Emily bids farewell and rushes off, accompanied by Celeste, to gather information about the festival. Ryuta Satu, with the goal of boosting his speed to S rank, revisits Mehonium level 3. With efficient training, he quickly maxes out his speed and moves on to level 4. Leftover drops are left to turn into strays, providing opportunity for Ryuta Satu to defeat them again and obtain new binding bullets. Suddenly, chaos erupts in the town as a rare drop transforms into a stray. The Ryuta Satu family hurries to the scene, with Ryuta using binding bullets to subdue the stray and protect the town. Unfortunately, Emily's hammer is damaged in the process. The following day, Smith, the weapon dealer, pays a visit to offer Emily a new hammer. He seeks the recognition of the Ryuta Satu family to endorse his craftsmanship. Emily tests the new, sturdier hammer made by Smith. Ryuta Satu finds himself aiding Princess Margaret in a perilous situation. As a token of appreciation, the princess gives him something valuable. Meanwhile, Eve enters the house, informing Emily that Ryuta Satu has gone to Nihonium and should be contacted after that. Ryuta Satu is hunting at Telulu level 1, utilizing a special pouch dropped by a rare stray monster. This pouch automatically carries dropped items. Eve searches for him in Nihonium, but fails to locate him. Ryuta Satu, meanwhile, visits Urza to sell his dropped items. Urza reveals her favor. She requests rare drops for her shop. A list of desired items is provided, and when Urza and her friend pay for the drops, Ryuta Satu discovers an intriguing fact. There's a dungeon that drops money. Shocked, he decides to experiment by turning a 10 grand note into a stray. The resulting monster drops a potion, enhancing plant drop rates for a limited time. Eve locates Ryuta Satu and asks him for carrots. In a surprising turn of events, Ryuta Satu provides a bunch of carrots from level 2 of Telulu. The conversation steers toward Eve's party mates, and she reveals leaving her previous party due to complications. Reminiscing about a childhood incident involving a child saved from a death buffalo, Eve expresses her love for carrots. Ryuta Satu remembers the potion and gives it to Eve. The potion, however, is exclusive to him. After Eve drinks it and successfully hunts a sleepy slime, she experiences the deliciousness of the carrot dropped from the monster. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Eve begs Ryuta Satu to join the family. The news surprises Ryuta Satu and he shares it with Emily, causing a mix of confusion and excitement. As Ryuta Satu woke up the next day, he found Celeste resting her head on the table, visibly affected by the magic storm. Emily informed him that Celeste was experiencing throbbing pain and heaviness in her head due to the magic storm. Celeste, however, assured Ryuta Satu that she would be fine after the storm passes as long as she acts normally and avoids using magic during this period. Deciding to focus on finding a solution, Ryuta Satu opts to look for a house that can mitigate the effects of the magic storm instead of heading to the dungeon. At the market, Smith shows them a house that meets Ryuta Satu's criteria. Surprisingly, as Celeste enters the house, she starts feeling better. The house is constructed using a magic storm-blocking method, providing a reassuring environment for magic users. Emily is particularly impressed with the spacious kitchen. Despite the shocking rent, Ryuta Satu calmly agrees and rents the house, moving their belongings to the new residence as the magic storm subsides. With the magic storm over, Ryuta Satu discusses the rare items Urza needs for the Harvest Festival. The family decides to hunt at level 7 of Telulu, encountering challenges in the cold environment. Celeste shares insights about gut slimes, explaining that they become invincible when near death. A two-person strategy is required to defeat them, weakening and then finishing them off. The group successfully defeats gut slimes, and a high gut slime drops a valuable blue gem. Eve unexpectedly joins the fray to help against the high gut slime, as she has experience battling these monsters. The encounter results in obtaining a slime tier, an item on Urza's list, sold for a significant amount due to the approaching Harvest Festival. Leaving the shop, the adventurers encounter a persistent little girl named Alice who expresses a desire to join their party. Meanwhile, Ryuta Satu is at level 5 of Nihonium, facing a cold skull monster that speeds up when it turns red. Ryuta Satu defeats the monster and obtains seeds that enhance magic power. Curious about learning magic, Ryuta Satu consults Celeste, who suggests using magic fruit to randomly acquire spells. Ryuta Satu decides to let the fruit go stray to observe the outcomes. The fruit transforms into a metal slime, which copies features of a regular slime but at 80% effectiveness. After defeating it, Ryuta Satu learns wind magic and reservation magic, significantly improving his battle capabilities. On his way home, Ryuta Satu encounters Urza and helps her carry some items. Observing a situation where an old man appears to be manipulating adventurers into working hard for him, Ryuta Satu intervenes to save a girl named Alice. Urza assists in the rescue, and Alice, grateful for their help, introduces them to her two newfound pets, Bonsi and Jiggly. Ryuta Setu brings Alice back to his house and introduces her to the rest of the Ryuta Setu family. The following day, Ryuta Setu wakes up and Emily informs him about Celeste and Eve going to Telulu for carrots. The much-anticipated harvest festival has finally begun and the market is bustling with activity. Emily is thrilled about the festival and Ryuta Setu buys everything she likes. In the park, they meet Alice, who tells them about a peculiar stall selling Alkyl experience points. The stall owner introduces them to the plated mouse, an Alkyl monster that gives a significant amount of experience points when defeated. Ryuta Setu purchases a box containing a stray-plated mouse to help Emily level up. With Ryuta Setu's assistance, Emily defeats the metal-plated mouse from the box and it drops a strengthening bullet, enhancing their attack power. Chaos ensues in the market when a stray monster escapes its cage, growing larger as it gets attacked. Neptune arrives on the scene with his subordinates and helps Ryuta Setu defeat the monster. Celeste and Eve return from the dungeon, and Neptune once again offers Ryuta Setu a chance to join the Neptune family, which he declines. Feeling tired, Ryuta Setu decides to enjoy some food from the stalls at the Harvest Festival market. They partake in various games and dishes. Emily is surprised to see Eve eating something other than carrots, to which Eve explains that rabbits can also enjoy meat. Alice informs Eve about a stall selling food items made from carrots. While wandering and enjoying a candy apple, Alice mentions monsters in the arena. Ryuta Setu shares the concept of arena fights, and they decide to participate. In the arena, Ryuta Setu and Celeste form a team, impressing the crowd with their victory over the High Guts slime. As they return home at night, Celeste receives a fireworks set as a drop item, dazzling everyone with the colorful display. However, Alice suddenly feels strange and walks in a straight direction. Ryuta Setu intervenes, bringing her back to her senses. Alice mentions feeling as if someone is calling her from the direction of Nihonium. The next day, Ryuta Setu meets the mayor, who informs him that all 6 of Sakura's dungeons have stopped producing drops since the previous night. The mayor asks Ryuta Setu to investigate the issue. Entering Telulu, Ryuta Setu discovers that nothing is dropping. Remembering something, he heads to Nihonium level 4, where he encounters the Dungeon Master, a soul. Unable to damage the soul but vulnerable to its attacks, Ryuta Setu faces a perplexing challenge in the dungeon. The bullet phases through the lady and none of Ryuta Setu's attacks seem to affect the Dungeon Master. Every special bullet goes through it and the Dungeon Master retaliates fiercely, beating Ryuta Setu relentlessly. Struggling in the battle, Ryuta Setu suddenly notices that the Dungeon Master's body parts become corporeal when it attacks. This realization gives him a strategy, and he manages to defeat the Dungeon Master, but not without consequences. Ryuta Setu collapses on the ground. As he wakes up, Emily is in front of him, helping Ryuta Setu use a healing bullet on himself. Although defeating the Dungeon Master restores the drops in all Sakura dungeons, Emily is saddened by how hard Ryuta Setu pushed himself. The Dungeon Master drops a ring, which Ryuta Setu picks up. Outside the Nihonium dungeon, Celeste, Eve, and Alice await their return. They stop by Telulu to get some carrots for Eve. The next day in Nihonium level 2, Ryuta Setu wears the ring dropped by the Dungeon Master. As he defeats skeleton monsters and collects dropped items, Princess Margaret arrives on the scene with her servants. Ryuta Setu gives her a crystal dropped from a skeleton monster, and the ring's power becomes apparent. It turns experience gained after reaching the level cap into a crystal. Margaret levels up to 96, and her abilities increase to D rank. Ryuta Setu gives her all the crystals, further enhancing her stats. Motivated to level up everyone, Ryuta Setu purchases bean sprouts and carrots, focusing on getting Emily, Alice, and Celeste to max out their levels. With the help of crystals, they level up instantly and their stats increase. The family becomes the talk of the town, admired for their rapid progress. Ryuta Setu decides to get everyone licensed as adventurers. Emily and Celeste successfully pass the license test for below the 5th level of Telulu. Eve already has her license. Wanting to make the most of their individual talents, Ryuta Setu instructs them to act separately for a while. He helps them get boost potions to increase drop rates. After a few days, they check the results. Eve made 120,000 pylos per day, Emily made 160,000 pylos, while Celeste and Alice made an impressive 215,123 pylos. Ryuta Setu, with his efficient methods, made 1,560,000 pylos in 6 days. Realizing their collective potential, he buys a new magic cart that can send everything placed in it back home. Ryuta Setu strikes a deal with Urza to handle the gathering and distribution of drops. He throws a welcome party for Urza, and even Mayaha and Neptune join. Princess Margaret, Orton, and her daughter also attend. The mayor brings sugar as a gift. Ryuta Setu reflects on the happiness of being born into this world and having such a loving family.